Jessica and Brian, a young couple brimming with hope and ambition, decided to leave the chaos of city life behind. They yearned for peace and tranquility, a place to call their own. Willow Creek, North Carolina, with its sprawling fields and charming old houses, seemed like the perfect haven. Nestled amidst ancient willow trees stood a beautiful, albeit slightly dilapidated farmhouse. It was exactly what they'd dreamt of. They poured their hearts and savings into restoring the old house, excited to start their new life together. The farmhouse, with its creaky floorboards and the scent of old wood, felt like a piece of history. Little did they know, history whispered within these very walls, a history steeped in sorrow and despair. As days turned into weeks, a sense of unease began to creep in, disturbing the tranquility they had so carefully cultivated. The first sign was a whisper, soft and indistinct, carried on the breeze. Jessica dismissed it as the wind whistling through the old window panes. Yet the whispers persisted, growing bolder. They seemed to emanate from the walls themselves, weaving tales of sadness and longing. Then came the cold drafts, icy fingers trailing down their spines even on the warmest days. Objects moved inexplicably, a book misplaced, a chair slightly askew. Brian, a pragmatic man, attributed these events to the house settling, or maybe a playful raccoon in the attic. Jessica, however, couldn't shake off the growing feeling of being watched, of an unseen presence lurking in the shadows. Her dreams, once filled with images of their future, were now haunted by glimpses of a sorrowful woman with piercing blue eyes. The unease escalated into full-blown fear as the shadows grew longer and the nights colder. One evening, as Jessica stood in the kitchen, she felt a chill run down her spine. Turning slowly, she saw the distinct outline of a woman in a long, flowing gown. The figure vanished as quickly as it had appeared, leaving Jessica shaken and breathless. Brian, though skeptical, couldn't deny the terror in Jessica's eyes. The whispers became more frequent, the voices clearer. They spoke of betrayal, of a broken heart and an unquenchable thirst for revenge. Sleep became a distant memory, replaced by an ever-present dread that seeped into their waking hours. The house, once their sanctuary, now felt like a prison, its walls closing in on them. The turning point came on a stormy night. Rain lashed against the windows and the wind howled like a banshee. Jessica woke with a start, her heart pounding in her chest. She felt a cold presence in the room. As she turned to Brian, a blood-curdling scream escaped her lips. Scrawled across the antique mirror in front of them, in what appeared to be blood, were two chilling words: "Get out!" The message was clear, undeniable. Terror, raw and consuming, gripped them both. Brian, his face ashen, finally acknowledged the horrifying truth. They were not alone in the farmhouse. Something dark and malevolent shared their home, something that wanted them gone. Desperate for answers, they sought out the town's oldest resident, a frail but sharp-minded historian named Mrs. Clementine. With trembling hands, she revealed the house's dark history. It was once home to a young widow, Eliza, whose husband had died under mysterious circumstances. Eliza, heartbroken and betrayed, was accused of witchcraft and driven out of town. She cursed the house, vowing that no one would ever find peace within its walls. Legend had it that Eliza, consumed by her grief and rage, had taken her own life within the farmhouse, her spirit forever bound to the site of her suffering. As Mrs. Clementine recounted the tragic tale, Jessica and Brian felt a cold dread wash over them. Eliza's sorrow, her anger, seemed to permeate the very air they breathed. They realized that the whispers, the shadows, the chilling messages were all Eliza's doing. The house was her prison, and she was its vengeful warden. The couple understood that they had stumbled into a tragedy centuries old, a cycle of pain and suffering that refused to be broken. Eliza's despair had seeped into the foundation of the house, poisoning the land, the very air around it. They were not the first to be driven out by the haunting, and they wouldn't be the last. That night, They didn't wait for another message or another chilling encounter. Packing their belongings with frantic haste, they fled the farmhouse, leaving behind their dreams and the nightmare that had taken root in their hearts. As they drove away, the image of Eliza's sorrowful face in the rearview mirror seemed to follow them, a chilling reminder of the darkness that clung to Willow Creek. They left behind the farmhouse, a spectre of their shattered dreams, standing silent against the backdrop of the weeping willows. The house remained abandoned and shunned, a testament to the devastating power of grief and the enduring nature of a curse. The old farmhouse still stands in Willow Creek, its windows dark and empty. Locals whisper tales of strange noises and fleeting glimpses of a woman in white. Children dare each other to approach the front porch to peek inside, but none linger for long. The farmhouse on Willow Creek remains a chilling reminder of a broken heart's fury, a place where love and hope turn to despair and dread. It stands alone, shrouded in shadow and silence, a monument to the ghosts of the past that refuse to be forgotten.